Leaders like Theodore Roosevelt and Aldo Leopold shaped the North American model of wildlife conservation. They decided that wildlife belongs to all of us, and we are all entitled for the opportunity to fish and ethically hunt, which is now the greatest factor in maintaining wildlife. Living in Colorado, there are plenty of opportunities for us to be able to go outdoors and hunt, all at the same time, adding to the great revenue for Colorado. Hunting is great for our economy. It helps significantly with conservation, and it's a great outdoor activity drawing people outdoors. I am credible because I have done extensive research and I am a hunter to back my claim. First, I will talk about the economy and how hunting helps. Second, I will share about conservation, and finally, how it draws people outdoors. Many believe that hunting is harmful, but it really helps the economy. All the license funds goes to the state outdoor funding that helps the United States. The sales of license, tags, and stamps are the largest source of funding for most state wildlife conservation programs. The Fish and Wildlife Service 2014 article titled "What Hunters Do for Conservation," I quote, "By respecting seasons and limits, and purchasing all required license and paying federal excise taxes on hunting equipment and ammunition, individual hunters make a big contribution towards ensuring the future of many species of wildlife and habitat. By paying the federal excise taxes on hunting equipment, hunters contribute hundreds of millions of dollars to conservation programs, helping both the hunted and unhunted species. Each year, $200 million in hunters' federal excise taxes are donated to the state agencies. They supply wildlife management programs which buy land open to hunters, education, and safety classes. The federal duck stamp, which is a required stamp for all migratory waterfowl hunters, purchased more than 5 million acres of habitat just of 2005. Everything a hunters charge goes to the funds for the state. Last year, there's a 20% increase in those funds. According to the note in the Denver Post 2019 article, Colorado hunting and fishing license brings in 20% more revenue in more key 2019 numbers. Colorado's Parks and Wildlife's hunting and fishing license revenue increased by 20% in 2019 due to the change in the CPW. In 2019, there's about $96,300,000 collected. In 2018, there's only $80 million, about $500,000. The state wildlife agencies are continuing with wildlife conservations, which are dependent on the sportsman funds. The DPR's article, "The Decline in Hunters Threaten How the U.S. Pays for Conservation," written by Nathan Rott, I quote, "The money generated from license fees and exercise taxes on guns, ammunition, and angling equipment provides 60% of funds for state wildlife agencies, which manage most of the wildlife in the U.S. Now that you know how much profit is gained from hunting in Colorado and the nation, I will talk about conservation. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation's article, "Hunting is Conservation," in 1907, there were only 41,000 elk in all of North America. Now there are 1 million due to the invested hunters helping with the habitat. In 1900, there were only 500,000 white-tailed deers. Now there are 32 million. In that same year, there were only 100,000 wild turkeys, now with 7 million. And in 1901, ducks were almost extinct, and now with 44 million. With habitat, research, and law enforcement are all paid by hunters, which help countless non-hunted species as well. The hunters pay $1.6 billion towards conservation every year. There are $12.5 billion so far collected in all of those taxes, and $3.8 billion in retail every year as well. The wildlife is also a maintenance tool. Hunters help balance the population keeping the land supported, and limit the crop damage and the disease outbreak, keeping animals from starving during the winter. It also helps the growing populations of predators, including cougars, bears, coyotes, and wolves. The government spends millions of dollars every year trying to protect other animals from the predators and varmints, but hunters will gladly pay extra just to have the opportunity to hunt them. Highway safety is also a big deal with hunters. Every deer hit by a motorist, there are 6 taken by hunters. Hunting is scientifically monitored by research scientists. In 1878, Iowa put in the first bag limit on birds. In 1900, the Lacey Act was put in place to prohibit market hunting. And in 1937, the Pittman-Robertson Act, where the hunters voluntarily tax themselves to make sure a portion of the sales goes to maintaining public wildlife. The NRA's 2016 article, Hunters' Contribution to the U.S. Wildlife Continue, written by Mark Damian Duda, Marty Jones, and Tom Bepler, the responsive management of hunting supports 50,000 employees. Those include 1,000 degreed biologists, 8,400 certified law enforcement officers, 190,000 volunteers working with those agencies, 465 million acres of land, 168 million acres of water, and 990,000 square miles of wildlife. Hunting provides conservation in many ways, but also for many families. It is a healthy way to connect with nature, providing the world's most organic, lean, free-range meat throughout the harvest. Theodore Roosevelt created 230 million acres of natural forests and grasslands for wildlife and population use to enjoy. More women have also started to hunt. There is a 10% increase from 2008 to 2012, bringing the numbers up to 3.35 million female hunters. The Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation's article, Hunting is Conservation, more people hunt, which are 19.3, than play soccer, 13.7 million, tennis, 13.6 million, or baseball, 12.1 million each year. First, I talked about the economy and how hunting helps it. Second, I spoke about conservation. And finally, I told you how it draws people outdoors. Hunting is great for our economy in many ways. It helps save many areas with conservation, and it draws many people outdoors.
When someone buys a hunting license, they're paying for more than just a piece of paper. They're paying to protect our wildlife, to restore our forests, and to preserve our public lands. The money from hunting licenses pays to conserve Colorado. So even if you don't hunt, chances are you still love hunting.
3 out of 4 Americans approve hunting due to all of its benefits. Will you be one?